Good evening, guys. I am very happy to see all of you and to read all of you here. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see me well, because I'm always worried about this technical moments at the beginning. Thank you so much. Audio is okay. Welcome to the channel. Those who have just subscribed, I'm always glad to meet you in our friendly community. And I'm super proud of the community that we have here. Honestly, in my conversations with my friends here in Ukraine, I never speak about the number of subscribers, but I always speak about our community of friends, how you all come from different oblasts, how you describe your places, naming them oblasts. It is also heartwarming, and I am very, very grateful for your friendship and that you are here tonight. And good evening, привіт, as we say in Ukraine, which is less formal, so привіт everyone. Yeah, 110,000 friends. This is a lot, and I am honored to have you all in my life. Also, today we are with Spencer, who is friend, moderator, and a very bright member of our community. And maybe Martin will pop in, but we have to congratulate Martin with his birthday. I don't know if I'm not revealing some too personal information, but I was born on the 13th. Martin was born on the 13th, so we may say this is a 13th club to some extent. So happy birthday to Martin Anderson, who is our friend, who is our moderator, and who is a great inspiration to people who feel sometimes tired and fatigued with war, with questions that we have about future. But when we see that we stand united, so happy birthday, Martin. Greetings to all of your beautiful oblasts, Worcestershire. It sounds so beautiful. Greetings to all of you. And united we stand, and we have to be very polite and good to help Spencer spend this evening well with us. And also, before we start talking about this quite complicated things, because the topic that we have chosen for today's conversation is whether it is the start of the Third World War, maybe it has already begun. But I would like to start with something good and with our great gratitude to the people of Britain and to the Prime Minister of Britain, Rishi Sunak, who recently visited Kyiv. When I see how they hug each other with Zelensky, I understand they are more than allies, perhaps they are friends already. And this demonstration of undoubtful support, it's extremely important for us. And also that's what I feel among friends from the UK. I never need to explain you why it's so important to stand united, support Ukraine, and not get tired, honestly. No arguments needed, and I think that this is the bravery that it repeats itself just as it was in the Second World War. So thank you so much. And if you have anyone from UK near you, go and hug that person. That would be really good. But of course, all the other countries, all the other beautiful people who are here, those who actively fight for Ukraine, those who simply want to know what is happening here, we are very grateful because it helps Ukraine live, it helps Ukraine move in the direction of the victory. And even if you have crazy leaders like Orban, I'm not afraid to say so. I know lots of good Hungarians who stand together with Ukraine, and one day I'm sure we will win over all of that evil. So thank you so much. Yeah, you can hug yourself if you are from the UK. That's okay. I can hug myself so you don't feel weird if we're doing that simultaneously. Spencer likes to remind us, I know he taught me that at the very beginning, that we have to ask for more likes because this is something that enhances visibility. And also, if you are accidentally on this chat and you want to demonstrate solidarity with Ukraine, do subscribe. Greetings to Johannesburg. This is a beautiful city I would like to visit once. And also, I know that people of South Africa stand with us. Sometimes governments may see things differently, but we are working well. Okay, someone hacked the monitor, which is really good. I do that sometimes. uh, so yeah, paprika. I like paprika, and I like this really hot sauces that they add. And I have one in the fridge. Actually, I can buy it here, and I add it. Uh, yeah, yeah, I agree that calling Orban crazy is an insult to crazy people. You are right. The same as uh, I never call Russians animals, because come on, animals are normal. Thank you so much for all the support that I feel. Thank you so much for buying me coffees. I already feel it, Bob, William, someone. And thank you so much, Richard. I always have my tea with me. By the way, do you see? It's a bear. It's a bear. So never associate bears with Russia. Bears are good. There are different bears. There are bears in US, bears in Canada, polar bears. Don't let bears be Russians. They are not. Greetings to California Oblast, greetings to many beautiful places, and thank you for all of your good wishes. And once again, and koala bears, oh, beyond cute. Uh, so, I am sure that Martin will also read many of your beautiful greetings. And once again, two greetings from California Oblast. And yeah, and California has a bear on its flag. So please do not associate. I feel like, thank you so much for coffee, Tony. Thank you. I feel like I can start a campaign, informational campaign. Do not offend bears by thinking they are Russians. Bears actually eat Russians. So, greetings to Estonia. Thank you so much. There is one beautiful, provocative question that I will start my answerings today. And we have 500 people with us, so remember to like. This is, how do I feel about Ukraine running out of men and mobilization of women and so on. We have to understand that Russia has a really strong army that works with information. And honestly, here in Ukraine, we have lots. I even think to film a video on that. Let me know if you'd like to watch one. They have specific groups, by the way, in Telegram. I am on Telegram like a person, but I don't have a channel there. And I don't want creating one because Telegram is still connected with Russia. There are some really good insights. Thank you so much for becoming sponsors. And joining the channel as members. This is a blessing and a great support. There are really some good insights, and of course, Ukrainians follow lots of Telegram channels with the updates about air defense work and some news that can be filtered on Facebook or elsewhere. But it is still not a totally safe place. And there are lots of Russian groups inside Telegram that work with informational psychological operations. And they spread narratives that make people doubt we can win, everything is fine, and so on. And after 2 years of war, they are getting smarter. Thank you so much, Cindiana, and greetings to you, friend. So many of these people, they are smarter now than they were before, and they do not spread something stupid like there are people who are like groups of Nazis in Ukraine or other stuff they did at the beginning because the world saw the real picture. But they start shaking us, saying like Ukraine is running out of men, or you need hundreds of billions of dollars to ever win, trying to focus on some problems that may exist, but exaggerating them, multiplying them by 100, and also not focusing on the problems that actually shake Russia from inside. If you haven't seen my video today, go check. It's about another big fire in Russia, and actually we have nothing to do with it. It's very likely Maybe it's an arson, but it's very likely it is just traditional Russian negligence. And there are lots of things they run out of. They started getting missiles from North Korea. Is it a sign of strength or success? I greatly doubt. They work many shifts to produce weapons that start exploding on that very plant because they are in a hurry, because they do not have things they need. But they try to create this image like there are no soldiers in Ukraine. There are. They are fighting. There are people who are mobilized. Mobilization in the First World War, in the Second World War, in any big war is never that simple because people who have to become soldiers never plan to be. They never know when will this war end, how will it go. They see lots of troubles with that, but they are mobilized. First of all, there are no movements at all to mobilize women, and I think it will never happen. Of course, I am really proud that there are women on front lines in Ukraine. More than 30,000, that is a lot. And thank you. That is, I like this stuff, you know. Thank you so much. So, there are women who volunteer, there are women who are military by profession, there are doctors, but all the women on the front lines in Ukraine are the ones who chose it, who wanted to be there. Trolls who try to irritate me saying, why am I not in the trenches? I don't feel bad about that because, like, it's not something that my country wants from me at all. And I do understand I may create more troubles there and I may be effective in many very different things. And if this war continues for 10 years and they mobilize me, I will work with some language training for F-35 pilots or something like that. So don't you think, dear trolls, that you pinch me with that. I'm well aware of how I can be useful to my country, and there are lots of other things. So first, women are not mobilized in Ukraine at all. War is not ordinary time, so there are lots of laws that make different obligations that are not common for everyday life. But here, Russia is to blame because Russia attacked, and all in Ukraine, all people in Ukraine understand that if we do not fight, if we give up, we will die, and more people will die than on front lines because what they do on occupied territories, they organize filtration camps, they make executions, they uh, separate families. They also mobilize people and make them fight against their own country. They also do it with prisoners of war, which is a war crime, another war crime persecuted by all conventions of United Nations and other stuff. People cannot be made prisoners of war, cannot be made to fight against their own country. So there are lots of things happening. And yeah, 5,000 or more are on the front lines, and there are women who are commanders of tank crew. There are women pilots, and I'm really proud of that. And I'm sure with more years there will be more. Plus, unfortunately, we understand that Russia is our neighbor. That's why we never can relax, and we will continue training, developing, building something. So military professions will remain popular, will remain well paid, will remain respectable in the society. And one more thing that may mean that more women will join. So, once again, this is not a tendency that women will be mobilized or conscripted. With men, it is different because Russia is ready to sacrifice millions. And by the way, we are working for our Russian crime series on the video that will compare sizes of mobilization, sizes of people who participated, were wounded. Thank you so much, Michael, for becoming a sponsor. And this is of great help and support. So there are estimated calculations how long this war can last based on number of people that can get involved, economic factors, public opinion, and unfortunately, it looks like this war can continue for years, 5 years more. Both from our side and from Russian side, it has already entered this exhaustion, long war stage. But yeah, neighbor from hell, and honestly, greetings to Canada, and honestly, all democratic countries who border Russia, when asked what neighbor you would like to change, always say Russia. I'm sure, like people in the Baltics, Finland, very well know what it means. Yeah. Once again, I have started this video with my gratitude to the UK for all that you do and for this undoubted support about Ukraine. Once again, thank you so much for becoming sponsors and giving it to 10 people. You are asking about Maxim Krivtsov. This is a Ukrainian poet, an extremely sensitive and emotional person who was killed by Russians recently. He somehow felt it coming. If you look at the posts on Facebook, I know many of you who follow Ukrainian news know about him, and actually he managed to publish the first book of his poems just before he was killed. So there is such a book. I think they will edit, or they will translate it into other languages, because it is an extremely strong and powerful poetry based on like real observations. Oh, I see we have a perfect guest. Hi, Jake. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for giving this good spirit to all the news. So really glad to see you. And we are all fans of you, so you can consider all of our community a group of your fans. Thank you so much. Yes, so I get a lot of questions about mobilization, and actually also below the post you've left some. So this situation is going to be visible. It is never that smooth as it can be, but believe me, we have enough men, we have enough motivation, and what is also very important, and I'm particularly proud of that Ukrainian army, in times of war, in times of extreme challenges, reforms itself. This is not easy, because for decades it repeated Soviet traditions. But starting from 2014, we realized, there is a very beautiful proverb saying here in Ukraine, that you cannot win Russia, like big Russia, when you act like small Russia. So we forgot all of this attitudes, all of this disrespect that was so common in Soviet army. And starting from 2014, people realized that the survival of the country depends greatly on these people, their comfort, the respect the society demonstrates them. And it's difficult to make tremendous change during like 10 years, and especially in such circumstances, but we are doing that. And this is really cool. So, for example, these first waves, where there were lots of volunteers and queues to conscription points, they did not take into account interests, specializations, skills of people. Why? Because we had to save the country. They were coming from all directions. Tanks were near Kyiv. But now, when people come as volunteers to join Ukrainian armed forces, they yeah, I agree that Jake should be made an honorary Ukrainian, and he is definitely invited for a big party, victory party everywhere in all major city of Ukraine, including Crimea. So, the fact that now army tries to take into account skills, knowledge, and where the person can be most effective is extremely important, because this war is different than the ones that were 50, 60 years ago. Technologies, for example, play a great role. And I know so many people who were, for example, video gamers, and they were not that active in social life. I don't know, they were not activists for various ecological or political causes, and now they are super talented drone operators teaching hundreds and thousands of people and performing unbelievable tasks, redesigning the drones, doing stuff. And they feel good because they can do both. Like they're doing something they like and they know how to do, but at the same time, they are fighting against Russian evil. So the task is for this successful mobilization to try and find where it is possible such win-win situations, match. There are also like the state takes care of like the money they can get. Of course, it's difficult. It's difficult to live in trenches. It's difficult not to know when. Thank you so much for becoming a member. It's difficult not to know when will it end because lots of people who are mobilized, they are not with their families, they are not with their children. Thank you so much, Paul, for becoming a member, and greetings to New York. It's difficult to live during war. It's difficult even like for me, I live in a semi-safe zone. I'm a woman. I feel like I'm doing something right. I don't have like doubts at this moment. I am. I think it's really important that I'm in the country and I'm like with my country, with Ukraine, and giving information to the world. I'm super grateful that I have you in my life and you friends. You care about Ukraine, but still, it's totally unpredictable. I don't know. Will I have electricity tomorrow? I don't know. Will they bomb something in my city? I don't know if this air raid alert is important or not. I don't know many things. I don't know. I cannot plan. I cannot be super happy. Honestly, yeah, of course, I do buy jeans, make nails, buy coffee. Thank you for buying me coffees, but it's not the normal living. And everywhere there are lots of bad news. There are lots of losses. There are lots of wounded people. There are lots of people with disabilities now, and it and even the understanding that there is such evil in the world that um, wants to destroy you and kill you just because you're Ukrainian, just because you say, yes, there is my language, there is my literature, there is my cuisine. Such level of hatred, it's super toxic. Also, I worry when I read the news because many of you, as someone beautifully commented, still live in 2019 and think that no big deal, like it's a regional conflict. Russia is quarreling with once its colony. No, it's not like that. It's shaking the world. Thank you so much. Yeah, but of course, there is a good comment from our beautiful sponsor that some find love and marriage on front line. There are also lots of people, and we have to talk about that. There are lots of people who have found their uh, vocation, who did not know what to do, who did not feel the purpose in life, who had bad jobs, who were not confident, and war and the possibility to be useful to the country, the respect that they get, the feeling that they are on a very important mission in the life. Not many people will have this opportunity. To some extent, yeah, this is like we do feel that we live in historic times. There is a joke here inside Ukraine when people say, we are tired of living in a history book. Please give us back our boring life. But at the same time, we understand their responsibility. And believe me, we don't want frozen conflicts. We don't want negotiations. We don't want pauses for Russia to get stronger and then hit us back in 5 years or something. We want to finish this existential fight once and forever. And another very, very important thing that is actually a very good counter argument against Russian narratives who want to say, oh, this is an American war or this is a Western war, something like that. Guys, we have wars with Russia for 300 years. 300 years back, the US was very busy doing its own politics without any attention to this part of the world. Millions of Ukrainians were killed in Soviet Union because of their political beliefs, because of they wanted to protect Ukrainian language, Ukrainian nation. So of course, it's not something that was brought. It's not a conflict that was inspired. It's evil Russian nature. A Russian empire, and they believe they are empire, is only possible with Ukraine. Without Ukraine, it would not work. That's why they fight like crazy. But we all know that Russia is not even an empire. Russia is an horde. Because empire is a little bit more like civilized. It is at least richer, and Russia is. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Meredith, for becoming a sponsor. And yes, you can have this opportunity. I might share a link later if you want to be a member of the channel. And I feel that more members are coming, and I'm working on some additional things that members can get, because I think that will be just, of course, with daily videos. I'm not sure I will make something really complicated, but some additional things must come with membership, I think, too. Thank you, someone, for buying me coffees, Frank and David. Thank you so much. And yeah, some tea needed. Exactly. So now remember to like, and I will read. So that was question about mobilization. I hope I have answered it. And like, Ukrainian society is very influential. Thank you so much. Nice guy, Rudy. You are indeed nice guy. Thank you for giving sponsorship to people. There is going to be a new law. It is extremely negotiated, and I'm sure everything will be fine, because once again, people understand that. Also, you remember that in our community tab, I have asked you about whether do you think that the World War III has already started? And I was surprised, like, that the majority of people who commented agreed that it started. I think a year ago, many would say that no, this is just a Ukrainian problem, or this is just a post-Soviet problem, or all of this part of the world, Eastern Europe, you're always troubled. But now, like, the majority of people say yes, very likely. And this is worrisome, because I think so too. And or maybe it resembles, thank you so much, Yvonne. So it resembles something that was in the 30s, before the start of the Nazi regime and other things. So yeah, we do need 800 likes. We do. And this is worrisome, because if we look like Russia that disrespects everything and attacks Ukraine. Ukraine is a big country, a strong country. Ukraine is a country that does not plan to give up, but still they are crazy and aggressive enough to do that. Then we see then we see Hamas, Israel. Then we see Armenia, Azerbaijan. And we see Yemen and all these problems with international trade. And we see the world is a very turbulent place. And I do blame Russia for that greatly, because it's always like, there are some teachers, like in a class, there is one bully that starts breaking the rules, that starts offending people, calling names, 800 likes. And people who were like more or less neutral start joining him and demonstrate the really bad things. I'm worried about Taiwan. I have many subscribers, friends, subscribers from Taiwan. And I hope maybe we even have someone on a stream, I don't know, but I'm really worried for this free land for Hong Kong, which demonstrate this like democratic Asia and China. when you listen to what Xi Jinping said when he last met with Biden, it's very obvious that he's like, I like the way they use this Orwellian language, saying, not we will attack Taiwan, but saying something like, we are always for the unity of Chinese lands. This is same crazy as Russia says that Ukraine is the southern part of Russia and so on. Yeah, okay, defeat. uh, so this is a problem because many of evil regimes, they are observing. This is Iran, this is North Korea. By the way, if you haven't checked the video where I speak about this new opportunities that Russians now have, honestly, this is not a joke. This is not fake. Greetings to Portugal. Oh, obrigado. To South Africa and Ireland. Oh, I love Ireland. Like I desperately want to come back to Ireland and spend more time there because, like, I've travel around Dublin, but I do dream to see the other side, the cliffs of Moher, and it's so tasty and nice and very different because for my US friends who often say I want to travel to Europe, I say Europe is different, but at the same time, many countries do look alike. And when you travel architecture traditions like this empires that were thank you so much, Blue Eyes, for sponsorship to people. Thank you. This is really a blessing. But Ireland for me was something totally different from all the countries that I've been to. So greetings to my Irish friends. I know I have some. Thank you so much, Yoda and Lukash, for buying me coffees and being longtime friends of channel. I so much remember your names and the things that we talk, and I always read all the comments, even though some of them disappear. That is because of stupid YouTube algorithms. I never erase comments. Only something like "Glory to Auckland." I'm sorry if you write things like that, like not Auckland, but the real Russia word that things are. And I think this is, yeah, I have seen Starsky. I have a video interview with him, so you can check in our big talk series. And greetings to Alaska. Oh my God, this is a beautiful land. And I wish Russia would sell more lands to the US back in that time. That would be a blessing. So I'm worried because these crazy regimes and North Korea inviting, I know it's really difficult to travel to North Korea. I know very few people will want, mainly like journalists and other stuff, to see how they sell plastic fruit and vegetable, pretending they have enough of everything. But now North Korea opened its borders to comrades from Russia, and they can have travel trips to North Korea, ski in North Korea or something. Can you imagine coming back to office after Christmas vacations and saying, whoa, I had such a beautiful retreat in North Korea? This is dangerous. This is absurd, but this is working. And North Korea, by the way, is another example of sanctions don't exactly work the way we want with such zombied populations. What they do, they say, aha, you see, you are right, evil is everywhere, but we are ready to be poor, we are ready to be hungry, let's continue fighting. And it's just like awful, like for me, I would never like agree to cooperate with North Korea. If I were like a president, I would feel like it's such a shame. It's like you can also cooperate with Somalian pirates that way, and they do, and they feel okay about that. And that crazy Kim Jong Un comes, and they like it. I don't know what has to be like. Even imagine yourself a Russian citizen, and that you are watching TV and you see that, okay, my president is now friends with Kim Jong Un. So even if I liked my president, I would feel like something wrong is happening. Something wrong is happening. And this is crazy. So I don't know how come even those who uh, doubt things. So thank you so much, Mike, Martin, and someone for buying me coffees. Wishing you health and inspiration and peace, of course, but only after the victory. Okay. Yeah, beautiful girls in North Korea. There are many beautiful girls in many beautiful places. But what I see now as a tendency is that, thank you. What I see now as a tendency is that evil authoritarian regimes. It sounds weird because trolls will tell I am set up vloggers, like nice, especially nice Russian girls who speak not about war at this moment, not about troubles inside Russian society. I do speak about troubles and war. That's the only reason I got my vlog. So they speak about the beauty of Russian nature, snow, I don't know, dogs, childhood. And this is a way that is used on social media to humanize and evil. They try to make your first association with Russia not bombed Ukrainian territory, not Putin, not zombies who support him and sit in tanks headed to Ukraine, but some nice women talking about, oh, it's so cold in Siberia. Okay, after we defeat Russia, I can do you travel vlogs from Siberia. That will be better. Good evening and good night to those who are tired. That's understandable. So, okay. Also, not an advertisement, but the kind of advertisement. Those of you who like our merch, we have a shop where we provide items that remind about Ukraine or good things telling Ukrainian cultural heritage and other things. And with 2024, we have designed an interesting collection. I like it a lot. That's about months, like t-shirts with the names of months in Ukrainian. And you can learn which month that is, or you can find a t-shirt that connects your months. Mine is August, and like I will share a link because like you will understand me, trolls may not, but trolls will not understand whatever I share. So if you want, you can check, and these are names of Ukrainian months. And also you can read stories because Ukrainian months, they have very specific names and like not typical, because most of names of months in European languages, they come from Latin, if I'm not mistaken. And oh my god, is it a community in Norway, Auckland? This is beautiful. I don't mean like I love Norway, the one of the countries that I dream to visit, Viking Rue. We have a lot of things in common. But yeah, your Auckland is perfect. It's different. It's totally different. So that was an idea to introduce you to Ukrainian months. We had them in Ukrainian word of the day. And thank you so much, Steph, for buying me coffees. So back to questions that you've asked on community tab. By the way, guys, this is my awful handwriting. It's really awful. My moderators may know that already. Now you know that, and I love it. Sometimes when I have to speak about many numbers, when I have to name some air defense systems that have lots of numbers, names, specific letters, and so on, I put it down and I read that. And you know that I always talk, I never read. Like I never write I speak from my heart, and I would not be able to write scripts for every video every day. But what I like about Russian trolls, they will always say, oh, you're reading, I see you're reading. So I'm reading again, and this was a question about security agreement with Britain. That was all over the news recently, and definitely this is one of the best messages we have received in the year. together with financial support, but also with unwaned, undoubtful, continued support of all the British people. And we feel that. Once again, I repeat, we feel that uh, we don't need to explain you why this war is so important. We don't need to explain you why it's so important to support Ukraine. You already know that. And it was always like that. When many European countries decided they can live with Hitler, Britain said no. And that was perhaps the breaking moment in that war. And I'm always grateful. I don't know that much about this agreement. Russians try to say this is another Budapest memorandum. This is the type of comments they spread all over, but I feel it's totally different. Plus, we don't know a lot of the text of the agreement, but we know it touches very important areas, and we 100%, like 1000% trust Britain, and we feel that daily. So I hope that we will develop. Yeah, Cyrillics has a cursive just like and bold. So we believe that, and I have a good video in Discover Ukraine about Cyrillic alphabet, and I'm for it. I don't want Ukraine to switch to Latin. So if you want to know why, go and check it. So I hope this is a good beginning. And for Ukraine, there is no other choice. There is no other choice than militarize, continue developing the industry, continue training people, continue strengthening borders, and so on. There was an interesting remark, I don't know, be it a question or a sarcastic remark. When was the last time I spoke Russian? I am lucky I have never spoken Russian as my language. It was always foreign language to me. And I never spoke it with friends or family or colleagues. It was always Ukrainian. I can't speak Russian, I will not. And I feel we were made to read Russian books, or you did not have access to something, or Russian was dominant in cinema, in music, and I hate it because it did not let my country develop. I would love to visit Australia. So no, I don't speak Russian, and I never switched into Russian when speaking to someone who spoke it because I did not see a reason. And you know what I like even more? That many nations who were also suppressed during Soviet era, like Latvian, Lithuanian, or Georgian, the Russian was like a good language, and the language that they could communicate, because all of them learned like English, but now no one will. They understand. It's the language that Ukrainians often hear before they are executed, for example. So for us, it's a very strong marker. A good question. Is it safe to travel to Kyiv? Yeah, thank you so much for correct spelling Kyiv. Yeah, I will do it even myself. That is the Ukrainian way. Kyiv. Kyiv. Is it safe to travel to Kyiv in spring? Oh my God, guys, I'm constantly telling you war is dynamic and war is unpredictable. I cannot tell you, is it safe to travel to Kyiv tomorrow? And you're asking me about spring. Let's try to survive and see. But of course, Kyiv is often targeted. So I do not advise traveling to any of Ukrainian cities until it is ended. I mean, Putin is ended. Thank you so much, Dale, for your kind words. It means a lot to me. And thank you, Pat. You know, you're special. So, yeah, soon we will get 1,000 likes. Let's do it. We can do it. So, of course, once again, I know many people travel. I know there are people who help others, foreigners, to discover Ukraine during war. I am not constantly against war tourism, but this is dangerous. And I think you should not, like, I know many beautiful people, many friends like Trev or Steve, I have spoken about, who already visited Ukraine and did a lot, volunteered, helped, and so on. But in general, it's dangerous. Plus, Ukrainians are trained. We know what to do in what situation, and you cannot. You may you can make some mistake that can cost you life. So my vision is different. Yeah, thank you so much for learning Ukrainian. This is so inspiring. You could not imagine how many Ukrainians are super happy when they see a foreigner speaking Ukrainian. This is such a gesture of respect and such a beautiful illustration. And the language in general is really, really nice. So I'm super happy that you like it. So the question, one of my patrons had an idea and he left this comment. Is it possible, like taking into account that Ukrainian soldiers need so much equipment, is it possible to match Ukrainian soldiers with American sponsors, for example? And at the beginning, the idea was to match Ukrainian women soldiers with American men sponsors. I honestly did not like this idea. And I can tell you that all of these Ukrainian women would say, like, come on and fight, come and fight here. We have international battalion. So if you're that much for Ukraine, you can come and fight. Plus, it's not that simple, like this direct sponsorship and shipping of guns and other stuff is impossible. What our volunteers can buy, these are drones, these are various medical things, but you cannot ship a gun or some grenades, so it will not work that way, unfortunately. But of course, there are really good volunteering initiatives. And by the way, on the community tab, I have collected a list of the ones that have English pages, of the ones that are trustworthy, and you can always come. I will update it from time to time, reposting it. Solzhenitsyn was a good oppositional writer until the collapse of Soviet Union. And after that, he started saying, like, we don't need to let Ukraine go. We need Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia. So for me, Solzhenitsyn is not a hero. I'm sorry. Greetings to Belgium. This is a beautiful country, and I like visiting Belgium. But I don't like Belgian fries. I like Ukrainian more. I don't know if you will forgive that. There is a video about Ukrainian and Russian language. I see sensitive issues asking, and I think it may be in Soviet Myths Debunked, where I speak about the differences of Soviet, the way Soviet Union wanted to represent Russia in Russian language, just like as the major, and what are the differences. Because actually it's total fake that Russian language is extremely close to Ukrainian. It's not that. For example, the closest to Ukrainian language is Belarus, and I feel so bad that Belarus language disappears. Less than 2% of people speak it. It's so beautiful, it's so nice, and crazy Russians make them laugh at their own language. And if you see interviews from the streets of Belarus, people say, oh my God, Belgian beer is definitely much better than Belgian fries. It's awesome, and chocolate is perfect. So they make Belarus people feel sorry, they don't like their language and so much. So this is really bad. And whenever I see Belarus oppositioners, their poets, their writers who come to Ukraine, who try to spread their language, I love it so much. And yes, I do understand all of Belarus language, even though I did not learn it. Exactly. So Belarus, then Slovak, then Polish, and then will be Russian. Of course, Slavic languages, they have things in common, but no, number one, Belarus, then Slovak, if we have some Slovaks. Greetings to you. Yeah, there was a good question about, from patron, about like this long-term war and are we prepared for that? And like we understand that. Razom do перемоги. We feel bad about that, but we understand that. And what Russia did, it militarized Ukraine, and it did it differently to what it actually expected. They continue saying they will demilitarize us, and what they did, they made all Ukrainians understand that it's vital for us that it is vital for us to remain strong, because I do believe that greetings to Romania. I do believe that we will win this war. After we will win this war, Russia will dissolve to some extent. It will not be a geopolitical catastrophe, and it will not cause nuclear explosions all over the planet, because just as it didn't happen with Soviet Union, many new, maybe more democratic countries will appear. Maybe it will be easier to negotiate with them. And in general, I think it will be a win-win situation. But Tatarstan will appear, Sakha. I have a video on that. Actually, one of my favorite videos about the collapse of Russia. Do check it. And it's on Sunday series, maybe Russian crimes. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm glad that you like. Yeah, I saw that Trident sweater and it looks really beautiful. So do check new T-shirts with months. Is there anyone who was also born in August, just like me? I said September previously. No, because in Ukrainian, Serpen, and that's what made me. I'm born in August. I know that. August in Ukrainian is Serpen. So, yeah, Adam 10s and I'm 13s. So, an important thing is that even after this dissolution of Russia, after new countries appearing, we understand like Moscovia will remain. And very likely it will remain like evil. It will continue doing bad stuff. And we have to be strong. We have to be a military state with strong army, I think contract army, with high salaries, with exchange. And I hope we will be NATO country after that. So, yeah. Oh my God, raccoons visit your yard. This is cool. We don't have raccoons in wild nature in Ukraine. But I hope. Yeah, you see Czech language. Yeah, I can understand a little bit of Czech. And so that was just like, what do we do? It's really difficult to open, for example, new military factories when you are bombed. And even those factories that are not military but can work for the military are bombed. So it's really difficult, because sometimes people say, why don't you construct many missile factories in Ukraine? It's not that simple, especially when you're targeted daily, and like Russia has. Thank you so much, Blue Eyes, for the sponsorship once again. This is so good. Thank you, and cheers with tea. This is black tea. And thank you so much, Thomas Whale, for the coffees. Thank you. And thank you to my patrons. I'm blessed to have you in my life, and I love making more videos for this channel and feeling that this channel is getting serious. Because like we are big, we are a community of 110,000. You know already, those of you who watch my videos daily, you know I have troubles with English numerals, and I can make mistakes. So yeah, sorry. Most Slavic nations use the same Cyrillic alphabet. Yeah, most. Some of them switch to Latin, but most do. Once again, you can watch the video about Cyrillic alphabet in Discover Ukraine, and it's really interesting. I advise you. Oh, thank you for saying that. I do believe that we have to just develop the skills. We have to be prepared. Unfortunately, we are living in this turbulent times. Thank you so much, Justin, for being with me from the very beginning. I so much value people who um, are with me from the very beginning. This is just like very emotional. I don't add charts, maps, clips into my videos. Well, first of all, because I film daily and I'm not a full-time YouTuber. Second, because there are really good guys who are close to military or military and they show you maps. I'm not that good with maps, and I try to make my voice a little bit different, just like all different aspects of war in Ukraine are covered. So in my case, I'm more about this civilian aspects of living through this war, what things we consider more important. So thank you so much, Donnie, from watching from day one. So it's just like a combination of different things that we all do, and I think there are many people who provide this raw military material, and it will be weird if I will start saying some super military stuff when I'm like a PhD in linguistics and work in cultural heritage. So I try to focus on the things that are different, but of course it's all dynamic. Yeah, so just like if you want to become a sponsor of the channel, I will leave you a link in the comment. But of course, you can also join me on Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon, or you can always choose our t-shirts, which is a good way to support us both and to get a good t-shirt, because they are really high quality, and I get some myself. But once again, you may do nothing but just watch, share, and talk, or watch once a month, but at least say to those people who doubt or who say, like, let's negotiate, or we are tired. And when you say no, it's just like, we have to fight for Ukraine. We have to fight against evil. That is the best and the most important thing that you can do. Yes, a huge Russian warehouse is on fire. Warehouse is on fire. A warehouse. This is a Freudian slip, and I have a video on that. So today, yeah, you can check it and see more. It is most likely Russian negligence, and there are many things like that with them happening, but I am happy that it happens, because in some many religions and in many legends and myths, people say, whoa, it's a sacred fire that has come. So this is sacred fire that burns many of Russia. So Ivan the Careless, yeah, I like it. But look, just like Ivan the Terrible, you know that I'm just like trying to write the book I was talking about, and I like have found the format I want it to be, and I have some inspiration, and also I have some sleeping time, so I even have some inspiration. I was just thinking about these names of Russian tsars, and I said, like, oh my God, back in that time, that Russians really knew how to name their leaders. Ivan the Terrible. Perfect. Like, all Russia is terrible. All Moscow is terrible. Yeah. So that is. Thank you so much for those who verify that the merch is highest quality. This is not paid sponsorship. So thank you so much. So yeah, Bloody Vlad. Yeah. And this is really, really sad that Russia somehow produces so many evil people. One of my beautiful friend subscribers once asked this question, and I keep thinking about that question, and I keep trying to answer this question. I cannot. Was there a period in Russian history when everything was more or less like normal, adequate, and positive? Some kind of like renaissance or something, and I cannot find it. It's always about suppression. It's always about depression. It's always about blood. Just like Russian literature. I'm sorry, I know some of you may like it, but for our documentary that I hope soon will air on Ukrainian national television, uh, we've interviewed one Ukrainian philosopher, and he said, like, all Russian literature is based on the hero that enjoys the process of observation of his own degradation. And I think, yes, yes, it is. Yes. So it's very much about that. So, like this video if you agree, so that we can demonstrate new records on the channel. So that is good. I have answered most of the questions from the community tab, so feel free to ask your questions here too. We still have some time. I think you don't seem very sleepy, neither am I. Yeah, that is exactly sensitive issues. Sorry that I name you by Nick, but that's the easiest way. Yeah, and that's a problem because Russia is always about some kind of sacrifice, some kind of crime, just like um, they never focus on internal affairs. They never focus on some development, evolution. The largest country in the world. Oh my God. Do you need any more territories? No, you have so much trouble with your own territories, and you spend billions of dollars a day to kill innocent Ukrainian children. What kind of karma they are getting, I cannot even imagine. Yeah, thank you for the idea about the video on Ukrainian literature. It's really good, and it's really big, and it was so difficult for many people to get published during Soviet era. That's why it may seem not that many names, but they did so much. And for executed Renaissance, this is very talented Ukrainian. Perhaps my favorite Ukrainian authors come from the 20s and the 30s, and like 300 of them were executed. The best, like, and it's so visible that, like, in the end of 20s, they had this registers of writers and other stuff, and there were 200. And in the end of 30s, not because of the Second World War, because it did not start yet, so there were like 40. So what happened to the rest? They were killed. And Russia does it now with Ukrainian writers too. Thank you so much, Peter, for buying me coffees, and thank you for joining as a patron, Patty. Thank you so much. Yeah, there are famous Ukrainian music composers. One is, for example, Lenartovich, and you know his Щедрик. This is Carol of the Bells. It's written by a Ukrainian author by a composer based on national melody. And also I like a Ukrainian composer, Skorik. His melody is now a symbol for Holodomor, unfortunately, but that is a very beautiful, very emotional melody. It's named Melodia. And also Lysenko, for example, he was quite important. Oh, I see someone says trolls are incoming, because we are getting visible, guys. The better we work, the better we fight against Russian fake news, Russian trolls, and other stuff. So the better it gets. Yeah, Carol of the Bells is extremely beautiful, and it's just like a symbolic thing. And guess what? Russia killed the composer. So I can only imagine. I often think about that, and that is a very emotional thought. How different my country would have been if they did not kill millions of Ukrainians during Holodomor, if they did not execute our best writers, actors, composers, and that is really difficult. Also, another thing that Russia did, they tried to rewrite nationalities, and many people switched to Russian identity because that was the way to survive. Otherwise, you will be taken either to Siberia or you will be executed. So this is really sad. But you see, what is interesting, despite all the things they do to Ukraine, we survive. We always survive, and we keep our language, our culture, our music. We remain Ukraine, and we remain very different from Russia. Now you see this great difference between Ukraine and Russia. And I think that this is a very strong illustration that Putin and his population will definitely lose this war. I don't know what makes them believe they can win. No. Under such condition, even if they would take all the territory of Ukraine, what will they get? What will they get? You know, you say that like the Zelensky is a noted dancer and pianist. I realize what kind of joke you're trying to say, but our president is a real person with his mistakes, with his emotions, a brave person that travels to the front lines, a leader respected all over the world. And what do you protect? A dying Botox bunker grandpa who is crazy and isolated Russia and made it the enemy of all the world. What are you talking about? Of course, it's better to laugh and cry and travel with your president than to observe one and the same Botox face for 30 years. I feel really sorry for you. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for sharing, and thank you so much, Run Forest, for coffees. You see, I need I need some. Perhaps I was. Look, guys, I'm not saying how do I'm not saying bunker buttocks, but I see you like it and you laugh with that, and that's really good. I mean that he uses Botox, but not even Botox. He uses some fillers, too many of that fillers. So. But you feel it like I'm saying it's a part of a bot. Maybe. Like, by the way, I don't know. Do I have a very strong, like, a question to Russian trolls? I know they will say yes. I like it when Russian trolls write me, like, your English is unbearable. No one understands you. People do not get what you mean. Then, like, I know the community that we have, the discussions that we hold, I read your comments and I feel how much you understand about me, so it never bothers me. But how would you describe my accent? It's interesting because I do know sometimes I feel like when something like Slavic goes through in some kinds of pronunciations, because like this bunker buttocks, bunker botox fillers. Yeah, it has dual meaning. I have one more problem, like Sasha, you know, like my videographer who films Soviet myths, debunks, and Russian crimes. He's always afraid of the word that I often say, uh, persecution, or prosecution, be it whatever. But he always makes these eyes because he thinks I'm speaking about prostitution, and he tells me, "What are you talking about?" And I say, like, "Okay, this is not about it. This is persecution." But there are many funny words. So thank you so much for that, and I like that you're still laughing. Yeah, I'm not afraid to create. Yeah, you like I've always loved creating new words in Ukrainian. That's what I do, and I believe some of them have potential. How do you get neologisms? How do you develop all that? So that's I'm working on that, and. The same I do in English. So I'm sorry, but I'm trying to do that. So Thank you so much. Like it feels I was asking for compliments. No, I'm not. I'm not. I was just like interested that you will tell me what are the words then. I yeah, exactly. All Putins have to use Botox because all of them have to look the same. By the way, Spencer, thank you so much for being so strong, working the shift alone. You are really cool. uh, cows, like cows. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I know that uh, focus is a problem. Yeah. I know. I even know what associations you get. Uh, yeah, and facts. I sometimes say differently. Like, okay, I'm not going to repeat that. So yeah, thank you so much. And Nail, thank you so much for the likes and the support that you demonstrate in comments. This is super valuable. Thank you, Seth. You understand me, and that's very, very important for me. And yeah, thank you so much, Spencer. Yeah, there are many good videos and a link that I may share later because some of you shared with me. We have just talked with Spencer about that, so maybe Spencer can help me and share that. And share it because it's about the stealing of Kyiv Rus. It's a video, like he does not make videos very often, but Spencer will help me out maybe and share this link to the investigation. But of course, Kyiv Rus is Ukraine and Rus is not Russia. It's like very different. And Kyiv, like Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine, the heart of Ukraine, and the heart of Kyiv Rus. So, of course, yeah, I am planning to do more interviewing, and hopefully next week there will be one interview with a very good person who has a huge volunteering initiative saving animals from the front lines. I feel like this is a question that was not covered by me yet. And the way society treats the animals tells a lot about the society. And I remember when Bucha was liberated, apart from all of this awful crimes against people, we also saw lots of crimes against animals, like crucified dogs. What for? And the way Ukrainians save their animals, the way Ukrainians celebrate life. Like recently, I saw one very emotional video. It was after perhaps that largest attack on Kyiv when some buildings were destroyed. Yeah, bunker buttocks has a potential. Yeah, this is a new term that we will introduce in our community, talking about Putin. And for some time, YouTube algorithm will not be able to block it because it will not be able to connect it with anything. It's very, very creative. So yeah, we may use this in our beautiful community. So this extremely important thing is that was on that video, like lady's flat was ruined, but Ukrainian rescuers managed to save her parrots and her cat. And she was crying with happiness. Like, imagine her flat is ruined. She doesn't have where to live, all of the belongings, but her pets were saved, and she is happy at that moment. And she is so, so happy, and she's so grateful. And this is Ukraine. This is Ukrainian people. Thank you so much, Tony, for buying me coffees. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, Jan. This means a lot to me. And like when you watch, when you get the updates, when you become friends of our community, this is super valuable. And I'm very grateful to people like Vlad Wexler, who introduced us, as you mentioned, or Jake Bro, who is huge like blessing for my channel, but for Ukraine too. Like from the selfish point of view, he's cool, and even from this, like most importantly, from this national informational, this is super important. So the way Ukrainians treat animals demonstrates a lot, and actually I plan to have such a conversation, hopefully. I never announce it until everything is done. That's the way it is. I so much like there are many people who say that they like Russia without visiting Russia. That or another argument that the majority of people who support Russia cannot answer is why people do not move to Russia. Why don't you see huge waves of immigrants wanting to enter Russian borders from, I don't know, Germany, UK, US? According to Russian television, there are so many problems in the rotting West, and still no one from the rotting West is moving to Russia. Only Russians, including lovers, children of Russian politicians, travel and living there. So this is actually a question that typically people cannot answer. Thank you so much, Ed, for buying me coffee. And all these images that they try to create of a traditional society, it's actually not a traditional society. It's the society that hates others, that hates indigenous people of Russia, that denies their existence. You cannot imagine how badly they treat actually people who immigrate, and especially those who are from different races or different religions, with this Orthodox Russian vision, and so on. Like, listen, if you are into that, listen to Dugin talking. Definitely, I agree with Vlad Wexler that he is not the person behind Putin. He is just a random talker, but he is loved by Western media as well, Vlad says. But he transmits a lot of Russian BS, so this is the way they treat people. So, unfortunately. Yeah, somehow all these people, they try to get to Finland, to Germany, to Italy, and not to Russia. And there are so many free territories in Russia, like so many free land, but nobody wants that. Okay, maybe a couple of more questions and you will go and enjoy your evening, your day, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Okay, cat brings mice into the house, but that's a working cat. Is it a part-time job or a full-time job? I can make a video about Olena Zelenska Foundation. I have a video about Olena Zelenska in general, where I also speak a lot about her initiatives. And by the way, tomorrow I invite you to watch a new video in our Russian crimes series, and that's a mixture of political and interesting like video, because I'm talking there about first ladies of Russia and Soviet Union. Actually, the majority of them were invisible, and together we will try to understand why. So if you want to know more about the Soviet and Russian first ladies, thank you so much for joining the channel. That is something you have to watch. I think it's actually interesting. I do love it when videos combine some, like as a teacher, I will tell you some theoretical part with the practical parts. This is really cool. I think that Rasputin was crazy, just like the majority of Russians. And he was very bad. And he was just like pretending to be a mysticist. And he was a monk, but he had lots of women. So just the typical Russian mixture of everything. So that's what I think. And Ukrainians are not chanting in Ukrainian Greek Catholic. Yeah, these are very beautiful sound, and it's a very good church. And I like that all not Moscow funded confessions in Ukraine live really good. Thank you so much, Lucy, for joining as a patron. Mm. And uh, okay. So tomorrow I invite you to watch this video, and I hope you will like it. Let's try and make 1,500 likes, and then we will feel that mission for today is accomplished. Once again, if you haven't liked yet, do. And thank you once again, someone. Uh, uh, for joining, and thank you for buying me coffees. And I will answer your questions better further vlog together, but I will try to find a good equivalent. It does not come up to my mind at the moment. We definitely have something like that. Unfortunately, you cannot like it twice. Do check your subscription status. And it's okay that like please check, because YouTube can do weird things. Since recently it has become very very like sensitive, and they filter everything that they shouldn't. To some extent I don't like it, but it does not feel like uh, totally against Ukraine. I don't think so, but it's just like trying to prevent everything, trying to filter everything, and it can turn absurd. Like when my own, um, my own elements disappear, and they don't have an answer to that, because I say I tell thank you to people, and thank yous disappear, and YouTube says, well, so we are working on that. So please, and be like understandable. And I am very grateful for your patience. Thank you for all the good words that you're saying me. Yeah, they react to this Russia, for example, spelling with double Z and other stuff. But we have now buttocks monster bunker monster, so it works like that. Or Tesla guy, yeah, and other stuff. I think they simply want to avoid any conflict, but unfortunately, in this world, we have to be real, and we have to understand it's a dangerous world. Thank you so much for joining me as a patron. You can join me as a patron. The links are on the YouTube page, are below the video in the description. Also, buy me a coffee. Also, I'm super happy, and thank you for buying Flocaster for membership to people, so you can become members of the channel. And I am working on some ideas for members to make it more interesting for you to join. Also, join my Instagram if you're not there yet. You can find it on like the link in the description too. I'm on Threads and Twitter, and I do post different content there. Not that often, because daily vlogging is not that simple. Once again, check our merch, because I think this month's collection is really interesting. So you can get a month of your birthday or something like that and learn Ukrainian. Plus, you will definitely get questions what that is. You may say, this is January in Ukrainian, and people will think about Ukraine once again, which is important. By the way, perhaps I will enumerate months in Ukrainian. Maybe it will be interesting for you. So this is січень, лютий, березень, квітень, травень, червень, липень, серпень, вересень, жовтень, листопад, грудень. You see, sounds nice. I love the sound of Ukrainian language, and I love the sound of all languages except Russian at this moment. I am sorry. I know lots of good people speak Russian too. So thank you once again for all the support that I feel. Remember to watch the video tomorrow about invisible and visible Russian and Soviet first ladies. I think it is going to be really interesting. Are you sure you want me to say the months again? Okay, very quickly. Січень, лютий, березень, квітень, травень, червень, липень, серпень, вересень, жовтень, листопад, грудень. Guys, let me tell you once again how much I love you. I love you very, 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 very much. You are friends, you are family, you are community. You give me so much strength, so much inspiration, and I'm sure you do that in your parts of the world. And may you stay happy, healthy, and strong so that we have enough energy to celebrate Ukrainian victory, and let's try to make it faster because Russia is evil, and the longer it terrorizes the world, the more problems occur around the world. We have to stay united and we will be able to win. I love all your comments. I read them. I get lots of ideas from them. Many of my videos are inspired by your stories, by your comments, by your emails. Thank you for buying me coffees. Remember to like this video. Let's make 1,500 likes so that when Spencer tells Martin and me tells Martin about this stream, we will say we've got 1,500. You see, these problems with numerals that I always have. So, sichin, softer. We have this soft sounds in Ukrainian language, so remember that. So please always know that I'm there for you. If you have some ideas or if you need some things to be more visible, you can always contact me and I will try to do my best. 1,500, that is so much easier. And that's why when I watch this detective stories, like, and people say 500 in Ukraine, 1,500 in Ukraine, we would never say like that. We always say 1,000, 1,500, 500, and in English, yeah, it's quite common that people say 1,500. That's interesting. Thank you once again. That's a different kind of thinking, by the way. And languages, they always open so many interesting philosophical, cultural aspects. Yeah, months similar in Czech, and yeah, I can understand a little bit of Czech language, and I like it, and it's tasty in Czech Republic, in many other countries that are close to our cuisine. 1464, so we can make it. I believe we can make it. Also, give me your ideas of what would you like to see in next videos, and what are the things that you like in general. Once again, wishing you strength, wishing you inspiration. We have to remain united because the world is in danger. Let's not focus on fear, because that's what bullies want. That's exactly what regimes like Putin's, like Chinese, like North Korean, like Iranian want. They think they can frighten us and we will stop, but we won't, because you cannot live with fear forever. This is something that causes constant stress, and just like, what kind of life is that? You know, I remember in my life when I had some big fears, then you are afraid for a while, for a week, for two, but then you get tired of being afraid. And that's what all Ukrainians experience. We are actually not afraid. We're not afraid at all. Many people ask me about that, but we're not. Because like, you cannot be tired, you cannot be afraid for 2 years. Otherwise you die. This fear, stress, it's an active feeling, and you cannot survive that way. So we are not afraid, and when we're not afraid, it's already halfway to victory. This is what happened in the Second World War, when people started laughing at Hitler, and we are laughing at buttocks bunker Putin. Yeah, we're laughing. We've got our own term for that. So that's exactly. So thank you once again for 110,000. How do I say it? 110,000 subscribers, or 110K. You see, like, those of you who say that I'm smart, we have identified my weakness, English numerals. So yeah, I will try to cook something. I see you like the video and some positive things, but we will also stay updated because war is very dynamic. Winter is a difficult time for war, but united we stand, and we have no other choice but win. Once again, thank you for all the coffees that you bought. Thank you for being my patrons. Join my Instagram, Threads, Twitter. We have a beautiful Discord community. You can join and communicate there. And also, our new beautiful months collection. Do check it. It can work really well and nice. And once again, thank you so much. Дякую, друзі. This is thank you, friends. And see you, and do watch the video tomorrow. And in the comments, always let me know what you would like to see next. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Spencer, for being with me. Happy birthday to Martin, and have a good day. Slava Ukraini!